Actually, atoms are the neutral particles. So you have to keep in mind, atoms are neutral. Atoms are neutral particles. This is, the first point. Atoms are neutral. That is, atoms don't have any charge because atoms have equal number of electrons and protons. So, electrons have negative charge, protons have positive charge. So, they cancel each other's effect. They cancel each other's effect. So, when they cancel each other's effect, so they will be neutral. So, atoms are neutral particles as they have equal number of electrons, and protons. So this is the first point about the atoms. Atoms are neutral particles. Now next is, atoms are the smallest. This is also a very important point. Atoms are the smallest particles. Atoms are the smallest particles capable of living independent. Now, atoms are the smallest particles which can live independent, or we can say atoms have independent existence. Electrons cannot remain alone, protons cannot remain alone because they are charged particles. So they are always in search to become stable. And how they will become stable? Because negative charge will attract with the positive charge, or negative charge will react with the positive charge, or positive will react with the negative charge. So this is one point about the atoms. Now second part is that atoms are joined together. Atoms are joined to form what? What they form? They form molecules. So atoms join together to form the molecules. So molecules are basically group of atoms, and so as atoms are neutral, so molecules are also not charged. Molecules too are molecules are also neutral. Molecules are also neutral in nature. So this is about the basic of atoms. All the forms of matter, is made of atoms. So, what we can say, atoms are building blocks. Atoms are what? Atoms are building block of matter. Atoms are, combined together to form any matter. Matter can be soil. Soil is made up of sand, clay, different minerals are there. So everything is made up of atoms, molecules, like air. This air is a mixture of different gases, hydrogen, nitrogen. So they are molecules. They are made up of atoms. So this is about the basic information about the atoms, matter, charges, etc. Now, this is the point that atoms, they form the charged particles. Atoms, that is, atoms forms charged particles called as ions by the loss of electrons. So atoms forms ions by the loss or gain of electrons. So atoms are formed in two ways, either by the loss of electron or by the gain of electron. So this is about the atoms. Now I'm going to explain about the some concepts of atoms, concepts or the theories of atoms. So the structure of atoms can be seen by some theories. You know, there were some theories were given by different scientists, and we call atomic models. Some theories, or we call what? We call atomic models. They are called as atomic models. Theories are called as atomic models. Means they are certain in a standard criteria. There are certain standard criteria which explains about the atoms. So in this, first is plum pudding model. Plum pudding. Plum pudding model. It is the first model, plum pudding model, and it was given by J.J. Thomson. It was given by J.J. Thomson. J.J. Thomson is the name of scientist. And so, according to this model, atom is a positively charged ball. Positively charged ball or sphere, in which the negatively charged particles are scattered here and there. Once again, I am repeating, according to plum pudding model, atom is a positively charged ball, and at certain places, electrons or negatively charged particles are scattered. Like, see, you know, just the structure of an atom. Let's draw this, in a form. So it is, in a form distribution of positive charge. So here I have, distributed, positive charge. So this is positively charged sphere. Ball. It is positively charged, and at certain places, negatively charged particles are scattered. At certain places, negatively charged particles are scattered. So these are what? These are negatively charged particles. Negatively charged particles are scattered, and so this is the Thomson's atomic model, and its nickname is plum pudding model. Plum. Plum is a small fruit, very similar to cherry, slightly bigger than this cherry. We call aloo bukhara. So it is a plum. So plum, it is used in many desserts in Western culture, and so that's why actually this name was given by Thomson. And because pudding is made during their celebration in India, what we have, different types of sweets. So in Western culture there is no so sweets as like we have in South Asia. They have only maximum pudding, just pudding of different type. That's all. They don't have this culture of eating sweets like us in South Asia. So this is plum pudding. So you can compare the plum pudding with in India, like we have kheer, we have halwa, we have paisa. So we decorate with different dry fruits, cardamom, etc. So this is one point. Otherwise, it can be compared with what? With a watermelon. No, watermelon, when we cut watermelon, what you see, there is, flesh of red color. So this is, cut down of watermelon. So it may be called as watermelon model, but it is, not valid. So, this red flesh, and these are the, seeds of watermelon. So it is also there to explain the Thomson's atomic model. Now we'll see next very important part, Rutherford's atomic model. Rutherford's atomic model. Rutherford is the name of a scientist, Rutherford, and Ernest, E-R-N-E-S-T, Ernest Rutherford. The name is Ernest Rutherford, and Rutherford has given his atomic model by performing an experiment. So he performed experiment. So Rutherford performed an experiment called as scattering. Called as scattering experiment. A scatter means, to move away. A scatter means to move away. Now, a scattering experiment of Rutherford. So, he had taken a piece of lead. This is lead metal piece, and a hole was made in the center, and there was, polonium. Polonium is a radioactive substance, and it emits highly energetic radiation called alpha rays. And just, in front of this, there was a lead plate, thin lead plate with a hole, and this is called a slit. So if I draw like this, it is lead plate, and a fine hole is made. So the purpose of slit is to concentrate the alpha rays into a fine beam. So this is what? Alpha ray beam. So alpha ray beam is here. So the purpose of slit is to concentrate or confine into a fine beam. Now in front of this, he had placed very thin gold foil, and the thickness was, around 1,000 atoms thickness. Just, keep atoms stacking one over other. So its thickness was around 1,000 atoms thick. Now he covered this arrangement with a hard paper screen. This is paper screen. Paper was hard, coated inside by ZNS, zinc sulfide. So zinc sulfide layer. Zinc sulfide has a property that when any particle like electron or proton strikes, then it emits light. Like tube lights. You almost knowing tube lights are at our homes. So you must have seen when a tube light is broken. Inside the tube there is very white powder, very fine white powder, similar to flour, and it is nothing but it is what? Zinc sulfide. Actually, in tube light also the electrons are emitted, and electrons they strike with the zinc sulfide, and thus tube light gives the bright light compared to any bulb. So this is the role of zinc sulfide. Zinc sulfide starts emitting very large amount of light. Now, when alpha rays are striking to this gold foil, what happens? Every substance is made up of particles. So particles they diffract, they scatter. That's why it is called a scattering experiment. So alpha rays, they are scattered in a variety of manner like this. This is a scattering of alpha rays. Different angles. The alpha rays were scattered by different angles, and when they strike against this hard paper, a small bright light is produced, and light this is called a scintillation. Very small. This light is produced, and a small light, bright light, are called as scintillations. Just like Jugnut, so or Lucifer. So it is the scattering. Now see what is the observation. Say most of alpha rays, these are scattered alpha rays. These are scattered alpha rays. All the arrow marks, have to be drawn in a proper manner using pencil. And so most of the alpha rays they're passed in a straight line. It is clear. Most of the alpha rays are passed in a straight line. Few were deflected to certain angles, and rarely 1 in 20,000 was returned back on the original path. 1 in 20,000 was returned back on the original path. So now going to see the observation. First point, most of the alpha rays were passed in a straight line, as it is clear from the picture diagram. Most alpha rays are passed in a straight line, or you may write that most alpha rays were passed undeflected, or they pass with minute deflection. Very little angle was there. Now, second point, some of the alpha rays were deflected to larger angles. The deflection was with more angles, less number. Now, third point, rarely 1 in several thousands, like 20,000 was returned back on the original path. 1 in 20,000 was returned back on the original path. So these are the observations of the Rutherford, or these were the observations made by Rutherford. Now last part, conclusion and result. So Rutherford has observed 3 points about the behavior of the alpha rays. Alpha rays, actually alpha rays, they are nothing but the positively charged particles. alpha rays. This is the, so alpha rays are nothing but the helium atom having 2 unit positive charge. It is positively charged particle, helium atom, helium cation. What we call technically it is helium cation. Now,
Cation.
so most of alpha rays are passing a straight line. It means large space is empty. So on the basis of observations, Rutherford said that very large space in atoms is empty. Very large space in atom is empty. And nucleus is very small. Nucleus is very small. So you can imagine when nucleus is very small, it is compared that one common fly is sitting in a football ground. You can imagine the analogy. This is, comparison by the scientists. Nucleus is so small. So on that basis, he, he had given his point of view like this. So he drawn, atom. This is nucleus, and again coming explained like this. So these are the alpha rays, like this. So when the alpha rays are going away from the nucleus, no attraction or repulsion, so they will go in a straight line. And so the alpha rays coming around the nucleus will be deflected, because alpha ray is also positively charged, nucleus is also positively charged, and which is going, just in front of the nucleus will be returned back. This is the bouncing back. Again, so stay here. Deflection is there. Again here, like so. These are nothing but these are alpha ray beam. This is alpha ray beam. So this is the observation, conclusion, and result. So this is the conclusion and result, that large space in the atom is empty, and as a result, the alpha rays which are passing away from the nucleus will be able to pass through a straight line, and those which are going closer to the nucleus will be deflected to some angles, little angles, and very few, 1 in 20,000, going straight to the nucleus will be bounced back. So this is the conclusion and result. So this was proposed by Rutherford, and so thus we can say atom is a hollow ball-like structure. In the center of which there is very dense part called nucleus is present, and so this is all about the basics of atomic structure. Is that clear, beta? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.